Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Now, before I even begin this video, I got to tell you that it's most likely going to contain fruity language, i.e. language of an adult nature, i.e. swearing. So if you are offended by such things, probably not the video for you. But there's just no other way I think I could do this. I'm so goddamn frustrated in having to make this video. It's just pissed me off to the hilt. Now, I should really call myself the Nostradamus of the world of Warcraft. I mean, back in September of 2014, I literally created an AsChats video where I was berating Blizzard for a year of patch 5.4. And in that video, I actually called beat for beat how Warlords of Draenor was going to turn out. Literally beat for beat. It is uncanny if you watch it back now. And then in September of last year, I did a video about order halls and how great and exciting order halls could be if Blizzard decided to actually invest into it. And here's a couple of excerpts from it, because I want you to hear something I got completely wrong, and then something, of course, where my pragmatist side kicks in. Now, this is me in an excerpt from this video talking about how the champion system is going to work based off what Blizzard told us at BlizzCon. And the third and the final thing which has got me very excited indeed is the development of champions. Now, this is Legion's version of the follower system. Now, start panic, don't get your back up immediately. No, it's going to vary very much so from the way that it was done in Warlords of Draenor. First of all, you're only going to have access to a few champions as opposed to the 60, 70, 80 odd followers which we can get our hands on in Warlords of Draenor. And secondly, they're not going to be dragged into a hole and clicked off on a Facebook mission. No, we're meant to have some proper interaction with these. Okay, so based off what was said at BlizzCon, they weren't going to operate another stupid drag and drop Facebook bollock system. We were going to have some proper interaction with our champions. They were going to actually mean something to us, right? So with that said though, by the time I got to the end of the video, although it's a very positive video, I still had to bring us back down to earth with a little bit of pragmatism. But before I end the video, I do have to give a word of warning here, because Order Halls also has a very dark and sinister effect as well, because we have seen from past events, Blizzard can have a tendency to get a little bit lazy, and Order Halls sadly is one of those forms of content which could easily have so much potential but then just turn out to be nothing more than a hub for us to not really do much. We turn up, we pick up a couple of quests, and then we go about our business. So why is it looking like the second of those two excerpts is actually going to be the correct one? Well, to answer that, let me take you on a logic story. Now, don't panic. The logic is very easy to follow indeed. Even an 8-year-old could do this. You work for Blizzard Entertainment as a developer on the game World of Warcraft. You are coming off the back of the worst expansion that there's ever been by a country mile. That's not up for debate, people. That's just a simple fact. The subscription numbers say so, the amount of criticism leveled to the expansion say so, the fact that the development team gave up on it say so, and also if you've played it, it says so. You can't fool yourself. In a couple of months' time, the Warcraft movie releases at the cinema, and you're desperate for it to be a roaring success because you want people to look favourably upon the World of Warcraft again, because a few weeks after the movie releases the brand new expansion, Legion. So taking that information into account, what is the one logical thing that Legion should do? Correct. Legion needs to feel completely different to Warlords of Draenor. At no point should people be associating the two, and when they're doing content in Legion, they need to feel as if, hey, this is new, this is great, this doesn't feel like that old rubbish which I left the game for. So how does Legion actually start? And I'm talking about level 100 stuff here. I'm not talking level 110 endgame. I'm talking straight at the beginning of Legion. Well, apparently in a 40-player scenario at the Broken Shore, where we have his asses handed to us, we're then forced to retreat back to Dalaran, where we're approached by a mysterious NPC that gives us a quest to gain the artifact weapon of great power. power. Once that's been snagged, we're then told to set up our own class-specific order halls, and while there, for the very first time, we get to upgrade our artifact weapon to make it more powerful. So far, so good, but we're still most likely level 100, level 101 at an absolute push, depending on what else you've been doing. And when we've upgraded that artifact weapon for the first time, we are given another quest to speak to an NPC further down in the order halls. And we trundle off there at the beginning, the very fucking beginning of this expansion, and we go, quest giver, I failed at the broken shore, but I picked myself back up, gained the artifact weapon of great power. I am ready to fight the Legion. What would you have me do? And that quest giver looks you straight in the eye and says, hero, would you like to play Facebook? Ooh, would you like to drag some troops and champions, followers, into fucking holes and play Facebook? You know that shit that you hated in the last expansion that millions of people left for? Would you like to do it right away at the start of this expansion? 'Cause fuck you. Are you shitting us here, Blizzard? Seriously, are you shitting us now? Look, if this is a belated April Fool's joke, I'm fine. I'm all in with that. Maybe there's somebody who works at Blizz and they've got really terrible eyesight. They've left their glasses at home today. They came into work. They saw the calendar. It had the 11th, but it merged into a single one because their eyesight was so bad. And they're just like, holy shit, I need to put out an April Fool's joke. Get people going, ah! I'm going to put some Garrison Command Tables shit up there. That'll get them worried, and we've just gone, oh, God, you got us. Well done. Oh, we'll give you that you're 10 days late. Don't panic about it. Because if this is legitimate, this doesn't bode well for Legion at all. And I'll tell you why. Because, number one, it shows that you're creatively bankrupt. And that's a huge one. This shows that the way that you introduce your order hall to your people coming back to the game, to your customer base, is by making them associate it immediately with Warlords of Draenor. And not just that, one of the worst aspects of the expansion, the fucking shitty Facebook crap. You lost 6 to 7 million people in this expansion, and the way that you want to introduce your new one is by saying, hey kids, let's do the same shit that we did in the other expansion, you know, the one that you left. So that's not a particularly clever idea to start off with. You know, I don't know which geniuses think that would have been good, but oi oi oi. Number two, you're borrowing content again. But not only that, you're borrowing content from the worst expansion ever. I've just said all I need to say about it in the previous fucking one. And you're stealing content from this? If you're going to borrow content for another expansion, I'll tell you what, this is the last one. This is the last one. Warlords of Draenor is the last one that you need to borrow content from. And number three, you tried to take us for fools in 6.2 and it didn't work. Corey Stockton came out and started talking about how fresh the shipyards were. It's fresh, it's so rad, it's fresh, and all those SoCal words. No, people immediately realised that it was just a reskin of the Garrison Command Table, something they didn't fucking like doing anyway because it was just no content. When you're just dragging people into a slot and getting them on the way, it's no content. We're not actively involved in it. So trying to palm off the shipyard as something fresh and new didn't work. This is the same. It's a fucking reskin. It isn't going to work. Your troops are your ships. Your champions are your followers. It's fucking easy to work out. We're not dumb. Now, the only difference here is certain missions, you can get a quest. You can get a quest for yourself. Oh, gee, fucking thanks. Now, I am all for quests which take you out into other places of Azeroth. I'm absolutely all for that. I've been saying it in videos for a long time that even though an expansion might take place in a certain location, doesn't mean that all the other locations should be neglected. If you want your world to feel full, if you want your world to feel active and busy, then you've still got to send people out there to Northrend, to Kalimdor, to the Eastern Kingdoms, to Pandaria. You've got to send them off to these places. So missions to do that, they're great. But don't put them on a fucking Facebook page for me. Let me get them organically. Let me find a dying NPC in the world that gives me a quest. Let me kill a mob that drops a quest item that sends me on a story mission around the place. Let me mine something. Let me herb something. Let me do something externally that allows that. Let me find a letter in my letterbox one day when I log in from a mysterious stranger. Do it in an organic fashion. Don't make me play fucking Facebook to get them. And the most soul-destroying thing was, when I finally got a mission to get a quest and completed it, when I opened up to find out what the quest was, it turned out to be a quest line to get an alternative artifact weapon. I now have to associate my artifact weapons with this Facebook drivel. They are so creatively bankrupt they couldn't even think of an alternative method for getting the other artifacts. They couldn't separate it from here. It's just wanged on to freaking Facebook. And the problem is, we are really up against it now for time, people. It is the 11th of April. In less than 2 months' time, the Warcraft movie will hit, and apparently the expansion is meant to be hot on the heels of it. Some retailers actually have it releasing at the end of June time. That's 2.5 months away. Now, that could be a placeholder release. It's been used before, so don't panic too much. But let's just say it comes out a little bit later. 3 months. 3.5 months. We're still in alpha. It's taken us 6 months to get here. And we still can't get to top level. There still isn't any endgame content to test. The only things we've got are the dungeons and now Garrison fucking Command Tables. And when Blizzard get up against it, when they get up against the clock and press for time, then they tend to default into lazy mode, and that's when we get generic content. And that's what I'm really concerned about. Are we suddenly going to see some slapdash reputations put into the game? Because what I'm seeing at the moment is you can get chests which are just offering rep tokens after rep tokens after rep tokens. Is that the only way that there's going to be? You're going to do the quest for them and then just rep token your way up to Exalted. When we go out to the command table at top level, at 110, are we suddenly going to be really cut down for things to actually do? Is it literally just going to be, well, if you go here, you get 200 artifact points for your weapon. If you go here, you might get a piece of armor. If you go here, you might get some fucking garrison resources. Is it just going to be such a minute choice and diversity of what we actually have to do in the outside world that it's just going to make us fucking want to blow our brains out straight away? And what I'm really concerned about, are there going to be alternative endgame contents? I'm not hearing anything from Blizzard at all. We're not getting any ideas sort of thrown about. Have they got something they're going to spring upon us and like, here kids, here's some awesome endgame content for you to get your mitts around, and we're all going to turn around and go, woo! History says no. The thing is, it's just not remotely immersive at all. It doesn't make the game feel like an MMORPG, and it certainly isn't worthy of the name World of Warcraft. It doesn't help build friendships and relationships between players and guildmates, and more importantly, and they were 3 very important points, is the fact that it's already failed twice already in the last expansion. Now, if there is a directive from above for Activision that says, please use as many old assets as you possibly can so we can garnish as much profit from this 11.5-year-old franchise as possible, then I understand. You're still fucked and everyone's going to leave your game, but I understand at least. But if this is a creative decision, then please just go. Go. And can we have some hungry people coming into the company? Because I don't sense any passion whatsoever. The only time I see passion in this game is when I look upon the gorgeous environments, and I look upon the amazing character models, and I listen to the exceptional music. Those artists, you can see and hear in every beat and every nuance of the environments all the love and the passion that they have for their craft. But when it comes to content, it feels flaccid and impotent, and as if civil servants and accountants have been making it, and not people that understand the word fun, or people that understand the word RPG, or immersion at all. It feels so segmented, every little piece. They don't interconnect, they don't feel relevant with one another. It's just such a slapdash mess. And I get all of that from this command table, because all they have to do now to segue from one thing to another is just fucking slap a mission on there. You want to go into 7.1? Fuck it, slap a mission on the mission table. That's how we'll segue. It actually takes away the need to be creative. And it takes away the need to think about new and interesting ways to get people involved. All that the order halls feel like they're going to be is a generic quest hub where instead of one person stood in front of a garrison command table, a bunch of people are just going to be stood in front of a garrison command table. But I'll tell you what, Blizzard, I'll give you credit for one thing. You see, misery loves company, and you hit that nail right on the head. So there we go, Garrison Command Tables, Garrison Missions, they're back, and they're back in full throttle in this next expansion, and it can go fuck itself, it really can. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links, they're in the description down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.